I would love to see some of those videos that you got from out west. I know we got a couple of them in Slack.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how was that experience out there?
The experience was productive. That's what I can say the most, man. It was going out there and trying to have the most professional mindset to be able to represent Woodward Sports on that stage, because that's who's credentialed. It's the network. And it was cool to walk up and see, Woodward Sports Network, and where I was sitting was just behind David Aldridge, and it was with some other pretty cool media professionals. Mike Curtis, Cody Davis, and some of the others, Vinny Goodwill, Hunter Patterson, some of the other beat writers from this area. Well, I know Mike is with Dallas now. They were kind of in my section too, so we hung most of the time. And the coolest thing was how Pistons PR made sure to look out for our ability to be able to talk to Cade Cunningham one-on-one. Like when I talked about Kyrie Irving's scrum being huge, Cade Cunningham, it wasn't as many media people there as Kyrie's, but Cage was still pretty deep, man. And so it was cool to see that, but for Pistons PR as well to say, hey, come on over here, guys, and let us ask our own questions with Cade, which you'll continue to see some of this footage as we continue to go. But this was the thing that I loved. Cade was like, he really fell in love with the process of the things that go behind the scenes that you really don't see. Growing up, you didn't have social media that showed kind of this compartment of it, and he did a lot of this stuff, getting out and just kind of be present for the fans, being amongst the fans, being amongst those in need. And it was a lot of Cade Cunningham saying, you know what, I'm glad to be on the stage, but it was nothing shaking about him, man. He was very confident. He believed that this was long overdue for himself, but that this was a goal that he set this year, that along with playoffs. And he was talking real big, man, just winning championships. That's what he wants. But he did have a shout out to the fans as well. Do you have the Cade Cunningham clip in there, JB Smooth?
Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I'm not too sure which one you meant.
Let me see. There's one. It might be about 40 seconds long. It's him at the press conference table, and he was just talking about. I asked him the question about how many votes he received versus Blake Griffin, and his answer was pretty cool. Vote of confidence for the fans.
All right, I think I got it.
Okay, you had over 860,000 votes. Blake Griffin before you, the last Piston All-Star, had 640. How does it feel to know that the fans showed up for you and that there's a lot of Detroit Pistons fans back home ready to root you on in your first appearance?
Yeah, it feels great. It feels great to play for the Pistons. Obviously, we have a super passionate fan base, but that definitely plays into the commitment to the organization, to the city, is the amount of love that they give back to you. So all of it plays a huge role, and why I'm so passionate about the Pistons and the city and the organization.
There's another one that's 23 seconds. JB, I was gonna say there's another one that's 23 seconds long. It has the NBA All-Star logo on there.
Oh yeah.
The NBA every single day they picked one highlight of the day from each of the All-Stars, and that wound up being their highlight of the day. If you have that one.
Yep.
Yeah, it feels great. It feels great to play for the Pistons. Obviously, we have a super passionate fan base, but that definitely plays into the commitment to the organization, to the city, is the amount of love that they give back to you. So all of it plays a huge role, and why I'm so passionate about the Pistons and the city and the organization. And so it's fun. I'm glad I get to represent.
And that was Cade the entire weekend. Yeah, I've heard for years that these players go to the All-Star games to try and talk to other players, to try and see what their future may be. But every time Cade got an opportunity, he made sure to talk about either a Detroit Piston, the city, or what he's proud to represent, and that he wants to win right here. And that, to me, is what, when we think back to Grant Hill, this was a guy who, he was here. When we think back to Blake Griffin, he was here. Did they necessarily want to be?
Well, it turns out probably not.
Probably not. And that, to me, was what was on full display. The game didn't really provide an opportunity, in my opinion, for him to put his stardom on display. But the weekend, it definitely did, and people were intrigued by Cade Cunningham. They were intrigued by what the Pistons are doing right now. And ultimately, they just wanted to shower him and Asar Thompson all the love back on our teammates and fans here in Detroit.
Am I wrong in saying that Cade Cunningham, even though it's not a prerequisite, it's not a requirement of me to love him like I currently do, but the fact that he strikes me as a humble star and a humble future superstar, that's just going to endear him to even more people across the NBA, more people across Detroit, a little bit of a throwback, because some people in the NBA don't necessarily have the greatest reputation amongst average, ordinary people, and I think Cade Cunningham is the type to bridge that gap. Not that I care too much, but it's just striking how about the city and about the people and just how humble he comes across.
You know what? There is a Piston guard that Cade Cunningham is always referred to now. Compared to, or will he reach the stature? And that's Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
But the things you're talking about, they remind me of another Pistons guard in his backcourt mate, Joe Dumars. That quiet confidence, that confidence in both his defensive and his offensive ability, his ability to lead. When I look back at Joe Dumars' clips, they say he was always quiet. But when I looked at his interviews, he would sit and say things about Michael Jordan, like, are you guys, nervous what he can do to your defense? He called you out. No, I'm not. We know exactly what we're going to do. And it was just this cool, calm, collected, humble demeanor, but it was sure confidence in what he was going to do. And when I think about Joe Dumars and what I got to experience with Cade Cunningham and before in these press conferences, how he carries himself, that to me is what it is. And I do believe that it makes him relatable and likable. Then when you see him step out there on the court and make the game look very easy, that to me is where it's at. I talked to so many fans that were not from Detroit who were like, yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, we thought that he might have been slow or this or that, in terms of his speed. We didn't think his handle was like this. And then all of a sudden he's dunking on our favorite players. And that to me was where it's like, you know what, Cade Cunningham, he's just at the beginning of his ascent as it relates to his national and his global stardom. He had one of the larger crowds for the international. We weren't even supposed to sneak in there.
Wow.
Business PR was like, man, y'all can't be in there. Wait out there real quick. So we had to go back out, but it was interesting to see.
Unbelievable. So it sounds like to you, as somebody who was there, that Cade Cunningham acquitted himself very well. Obviously, we didn't get to see enough on the court as people who weren't there, but that's why I'm glad that we have your perspective as somebody who could see the things that we weren't able to.
It was epic, man. It was epic. And to be able to kind of be first to some of this media hitting the social media waves and such, shout out to Travis, Justin, and everybody else who played a role in helping socials go. Those guys did a heck of a job, and I would just be remiss if I didn't shout them out again and shout you out. And people like you guys, Freddie Felt, Devin the Dog, and others who contacted me directly, like, hey, man, we're rooting for you. We're looking at you from afar. The chat family, man, as always, y'all are the most important part of this thing, man. So shout out to you guys.
Anything else, JB, that you haven't shown yet that you want to get on display for the people of what Kool-Aid saw in San Francisco?
Yeah, there's a couple videos.
Absolutely.
I'll play a little few of them just for you guys to see. Check this out, Kool-Aid. I'm thinking you're just walking into All-Star Weekend, but I don't know exactly. So let's see.
What up, though, people? It's your boy Detroit Kool-Aid, Woodward Sports All-Star 2025. Man, it's been a vibe. It's been a vibe. Boots on the ground has been epic, man. Just talking to the fans, being able to talk to Cade Cunningham and all of the different press conferences. Shout out to Pistons PR and their hospitality. Hunter from the Athletic. Cody Davis from the Detroit News was out here as well. Vinny Goodwill from Yahoo. So Detroit has some representation, some great coverage, man. Shout out to my guy Travis as well for helping me crush All-Star Weekend via Woodward Sports. Hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out the YouTube. Go ahead and check out all the social media at Woodward Sports. It's a lot of good coverage there. Once again, congratulations, Cade Cunningham, on your first All-Star appearance. Let's go. Hey, bro, talk to me about Cade Cunningham. I heard your question. You still on his head. You still on his head about not passing the ball.
I just feel like you don't pass the ball enough. And Cade, if you watching this, it's a difference of passing it because people are guarding you. You get what I'm saying? When he got an open shot, he take it. Don't take all your open shots. Pass the ball, bro. Don't pass it because you got to. Pass it because you just love to. Like, it could be an open three, nobody on him. And then he just shoots it. Bro, stop doing that shooting shit. You know what I mean? You need probably, what? You need like 7 field goal attempts a game. You should have
7.
22 is too much, bro.
22 shot attempts is too much. But
hey,
7.
If you watching this, you heard what I said.
Hey,
10 at least.
Hey, bro, but any advice for his first All-Star appearance?
I feel like pass the ball. Don't shoot.
Thank you, bro. Pass the ball.
Hey,
what do you think about the new format?
Hey, why don't you like to pass the ball?
Pass the ball, man. We talked about this before. And you remember that.
You got beautiful eyes.
Cade, what do you think about the new format of the All-Star game? What do you think about the new format of the NBA, the All-Star game?
I think it's interesting. I think it'll be fun to watch.
Hey, shout out to
Pass
Bleacher
the ball.
Report.
What is
Shout
that?
out to Funny Marco.
Pass the ball, man.
If y'all remember, man, Bleacher Report and Funny Marco and Cade Cunningham, they had that commercial they put out. And it was crazy, man. Look at that. Funny Mark, he got 5.3 million followers on Instagram, brother. Just off of these types of interviews and content and such. It was cool to see him and his ascent as well. And him and Cade Cunningham, they got some other content, commercials and things like that will be coming out later, man. He is a comedian. There were so many people who don't understand this,
I
KG.
swear.
I was
It's
so
crazy.
confused,
Shout out
too.
to Funny Marco. Big fan of his work. A lot of people in our comments don't really understand who Funny Marco is.
He's funny.
This is all satire, people. There's no need to take this guy seriously. I do get it, though. But, no, shout out to Cade and Funny Marco for making it happen. I can't wait for the new content. It's gonna be great.
I can't wait, man. But yeah, it was a cool environment, and a lot of why I want to go to Vegas, it was on display there, and I really want to get back. The media cafes, like being in the background of some of the bigger broadcasts, like we'll be in the background of TNT at Vegas, like, hey, what up, though? Being able to do the content, interact with people, and all of the different parties and events. You know, that's part of it that I'll tell you guys off air.
Yeah.
That's the type
My
of
man
stuff
going to
that's
private parties,
I know,
not
right?
secret parties,
That's a hey, look, that you know what?
Look, Diddy
Who
wasn't
flew
out
to
of jail.
Vegas?
masquerades,
It was
It's no baby oil
Diddy
involved.
party.
Look, Diddy
Whoa!
wasn't out of jail. I'm just saying.
Just asking. You know.
the only thing I was missing was a hot lather neck shave.
Ah,
That was
well,
it.
Bet you was.
well, we're gonna talk about that at some point during the show because Lady Jane's is still a sponsor. But I think on that.